Hey, Pastor Ray Barnett here. Glad that you could be with me here on the Oasis. And as always, I wish you a good morning, good afternoon, or a good evening, depending on what time you're watching this broadcast. I wanted to say welcome to the Oasis, the fastest growing, most watched YouTube channel in the universe. But that would be a lie. Because we're really a very small group, and as I've always told you, that's fine with me. Whatever becomes of this channel, as far as subscribers, well, it becomes what it becomes, but that's not my interest. My interest is in helping you with the problems that we all face in life, but particularly the problems that you have with anxiety and depression. So today, overcast day. Unlike yesterday, I didn't get rained on, so we're good to go. You know, in life, let me say it this way. In order to be free, to really say yes to someone or something, where you're saying, yeah, that sounds good, yeah. In order to be able to say yes with freedom and with joy, you're going to have to learn how to say no. Now, I realize that there are perhaps some of you that watch this broadcast, the Oasis, and I know that there are probably a few of you that have no problem saying no to people. But my guess and my understanding is that the great majority of you that watch this broadcast are probably people who have a difficult time saying no. The reason being is that you are very sensitive. Your soul, you're a sensitive soul. You really like to help people. You like to help out. But you find yourself in positions quite frequently where you're saying yes to something when you would really prefer to say no, can't do that, or it's I'm tired, or whatever it may be. For me, especially in the earlier years of my ministry, I really didn't know, because I've always been sincere about putting the Bible to practice in my life. In other words, not just reading it for information, but the way the Bible is meant to be read is to obey God. And as a pastor, and again, especially in my earlier years, I really didn't know where, when, and to some degree, I didn't really know how to say no. Either I can't do that, or no, I won't do that, or no, you get the idea. I found it difficult earlier in my life to be able to say no to people. And again, mostly for me, yes, my personality, I like to help people, like to be helpful. But then, when you're actually a pastor and you're trying to do the right thing before God, I truly did not know, again, how, when, where I should say no. So this is something, and the title I've given to this broadcast is Learn to Say No, which means learning, which is going to take practice. So if my guess is accurate, if you are the type of person that has a difficult time saying no, here's some other things that you struggle with. Resentment, feeling overwhelmed, at times actually overcome. You take on other people's problems. You desperately want to be able to be free. Obviously, that's why you watch this channel. But you just don't seem to be able to get there. Well, let me see if I can tie this together for you about the reason why you have to learn, and it is a learning process. At least it was for me, and how you have to learn how to say no and feel actually good about saying no to people, to things, to events, an invitation, come help me, whatever it may be. Because if not, as I just mentioned, then what's going to happen is you're going to be saying yes reluctantly. You really don't want to say yes. And of course, there's certain obligations in our life where we would prefer not to be someplace or not to do something, but protocol and common decency dictates that we have to go. It's just a duty. It's an obligation. It's a responsibility. Putting all that aside, when saying no is just not a proper thing, let me repeat myself and state that the majority of you watching today's broadcast or watching this broadcast have a difficult time saying no. So you need to learn how to say no to people, primarily to people, so that when you say yes, you can actually say it with 100% conviction, a sense of joy, a sense of freedom, because you really want to say, yeah, sure, I could do that. Yeah, that's not a problem. But for many of you, if not for the great majority of you, that's a very, very difficult thing for you to say. To actually say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. So let me teach you how to learn how to say no, so that once again you're free to say yes with joy, with a sense of accomplishment, with a sense of this is something that I really don't mind doing that. Number one of the things that I had to come to understand is who I am. Meaning, of course, I've always known my name, my address, my telephone number, my birth date, and other things. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your gifts and your talents. I have found myself in places, positions sometimes where I'm just really not gifted or called, in this case by the Lord. I'm not called to do that. So for me, it was a learning process based on, number one, just knowing who I am, what gifts and talents God has given to me to actually help people, as well as building myself up. I'm a contemplative individual. I'm a thinker. I'm a voracious reader. I don't even know how many books I've read in my lifetime, but it's quite a lot on various subjects, mostly not fiction. I occasionally read on fiction, and I occasionally, pick up something, especially a classic book. Moby Dick comes to my mind. I've read that, which is, that's just me. I like to read books that instruct. I like to read books that teach me things I don't know or help me improve on things that I do know. And so that's me. My gift and talent is that I'm a teacher. I've been the pastor, as you know, most of you know, for 45 years as a preacher and a teacher. And that's what God made me to be. And with that, let me say that there's a great freedom when I do these broadcasts. Obviously, I do them for you. I can find things to do besides making these broadcasts. Lots of things and people calling for my attention that want me, but that doesn't mean they need me. And that's another lesson. First is, what are your gifts and talents? If you don't know, one hint is this. There's certain things that you just do, and it comes natural. It could be anything from art and music to, again, reading. And whenever I read on anything, it doesn't matter what it is, I always want to share it. It's just, that's me. That's what God made me to be, a teacher. Now, that might, and in most cases, not going to be you. You, perhaps like my wife, have what the Bible calls the gift of helps. My wife is asked to do anything, carry groceries, do this, do that. She's there, and she's very good at it. Me, it's not that I can't or won't help people in with their groceries or do some of these gift of works activities. It's just that I always find myself looking at my watch saying, I'm wasting time. I could be reading and meditating, and in this case, it's a Wednesday on June 22nd, and tonight there's Bible study, so I have to prepare for that, which I enjoy doing. I enjoy reading the texts that I'm going to teach on. Gaining understanding myself. I have a text to teach on tonight from 1 John chapter 5. That's a little bit difficult to explain and to figure out precisely what was the Apostle John talking about. But I need time to do that because, once again, I'm a teacher. As some of you know, I'm also a musician. So, finding your gifts and talents is not really extraordinarily difficult if you, like my wife, it's not her only gift, but she has the gift of help. She enjoys, helping people. Every birthday, just about every birthday, she makes the cake, she makes the cupcake, she makes the cookies, and she enjoys it. It really fulfills her because that's what God made her to be. Me, I'd rather go to the store and buy some cookies and buy, it's like fishing. I took up fishing many years ago when my children were young, just for something to do with them. But the truth of it is, I'm a horrible fisherman. Not because I don't have the brains to figure out where the fish are or how to catch them. I don't care. I always tell people, if I want fish, I go over to Price Chopper and buy them. That's not you, all right? That's me, because primarily I'm a teacher, as well as I'm musically talented, and there's a few other things as well. So the easiest way to figure out your gifts and talents is just what comes natural for you. You like talking to people, helping people, counseling people, whatever. Again, it could be music, it could be art, it can be, maybe like me, you're a teacher. And what you'll find is that your gifts and talents come natural. And I'm going to strongly suggest to you that you work in your gifts. Now, if you're a professing Christian, here's some good news. When you meet Christ and when you meet God on that last day, God is not going to expect you to explain to Him, why didn't you do everything everybody wanted you to do? In fact, it's just the opposite. When Jesus was ending His earthly life right before He went to the cross, then of course the resurrection, He was able to say this, Father, I have finished, now listen to this, it's very important. Father, I have finished the work that you gave me to do. In one instance in Jesus' ministry, He instructs the apostles to go straight to this city, announce that He's going to be coming, and do not look to the left, don't look to the right, don't talk to anybody, just get to it. You see, this is real Christianity. It's not me working in somebody else's gift, because, and this has actually happened to me several times throughout my ministry. Come Pastor Ray don't set up chairs, and though I have done it. How come Pastor Ray doesn't do this or that? Which I've actually done those things too. But it took me some time to figure out I'm wasting my gift and talent by doing something that somebody else can be doing. So work in your gifts and your talents. If you need some help, go to your pastor or read a book, go online and figure out just who you are, and then be that. You know who you are? Be that. And then you'll be able to discern when you should be saying, no, hey, I'd like to help you out, but I really can't. I'm sorry. And if you know somebody that can help them out, and this is what I do, I refer them. I say, who you should talk to, and refer them out. Keep in mind that many of you who are very sensitive souls, which I'm thinking is probably the majority that subscribe to this ever-growing, expansive YouTube channel, I'm certain because of your sensitivities, you feel guilty if you don't say yes. Okay, but like I said, there's plenty of you. If it's not all of you, it's plenty of you that you resent it, and then you get angry, then you get tense. We've studied this many times, right? Tension on the skeletal muscles puts pressure on the nervous system, then your stomach hurts, you got a headache, your neck hurts, your back hurts, palpitations, sweats, all of these hundreds and hundreds of symptoms. Now, learning. It's not going to come easy, and here's something as a warning or forewarning. If you're around people, especially those that are close to you, and they're used to you always saying yes every time you ask them, but again, you don't want to do this, and you're kind of then you're complaining about the fact that you did it, telling people, other people close to you, like, why is he always asking me for help? When you begin to say no to people, they're not going to like it. People who are used to abusing you, abusing your time. People who are used to just snapping their fingers and you do it, beyond, again, duty and obligation and responsibility, they're not going to like it. And you got to be prepared for that. You got to be prepared for criticism. And they're going to, and if you do it once or twice, you may get away with it, but if learning to say no, or just saying no, becomes a habit, which it really must with you, if you're going to conquer your nervous symptoms and so forth, you're going to get resistance. So be prepared for resistance and learn how to say no. There's a lot more that I could say about this, but these broadcasts are short. They're designed to be as concise as possible. People are not going to be happy with you when you start saying no. And they're going to say, why? You've always done this. Don't put them on my case and say, well, that pastor on the Oasis there, he told me. Don't send them my way. Just explain to them that you're starting to learn who you are and what things that you are called to do in life. But also look at, we that are older anyway, we all know that time is short. You don't want to waste it. And if you permit people to, keep manipulating you, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to be wasting your time, and then in the end, you've wasted your life. So, a little short exhortation, just know who you are. Know your gifts and talents. Know what you're good at, what God called you to do. Again, if you don't know, start researching, start studying, and get to know who you are, so that you can use your time properly in helping people in your gifts, so that when your time comes to meet the Lord, you can say to Him, Lord, I finished the work. Again, this is really critical. I've finished the work that you gave me to do. I know who I am. I'm comfortable being me. I am very uncomfortable trying to be somebody else. Again, protocol, common decency, means that you got to sometimes do things you don't want to do, or put a smile on your face or whatever when you don't want to. But learning to say no is going to be a very freeing experience, and then in the process, it's going to reduce to some degree your anxieties and your depressions. And this is the next installment in what you need to do to be free. You have to learn how to say no. If you have more questions on that, just put it in the comments below, and I'll try to answer it on next broadcast or future broadcasts. If you have something I didn't mention here, there's quite a lot I could say, which time wouldn't permit me. But again, put them in the comments and just say, well, this is my situation, and then I'll try to address it on the future broadcast. But anyway, learn who you are. Know who you are. Know what you're called to do by the Lord, which can be any number of hundreds of things. Then zero in on that. Spend your time saying yes to the things that you're actually called to do, and like our Lord, be able to say to God, to Christ, when you meet Him, I finished the work that you gave me to do, not the work that everybody else gave me to do, wanted me to do, insisted I do, and so on. I hope this little talk here helps you. Again, if you have questions on that, some specific questions or incidents, and you need some advice or some help, put them in the comments, and I'll try to address it. Okay? Let me pray for you. Father, it's critical. This may not seem to be a earth-shattering revelation, learning to say no, but it's very critical in life to being free. I ask you today, God, that once again help my friends to be free, and teach them and help them to learn how and when to say no. All right, that's it for today. As always, we are a small channel. We're not the fastest growing YouTube channel in the universe, but I'm good with that. I'm comfortable. I'm not out for what people say is success. I'm out to use my gift, my talents, and my experience to help you that do subscribe. If you want to be part of this group, just subscribe. But make sure you hit the notification button. As I told you this week, one sister was saying to me that she wasn't getting notices, and I told her just go back and subscribe again and hit the notification button. A like, a thumbs up is always helpful, and God willing, I will see you here tomorrow on the Oasis. And until then, I really do pray that the peace of Christ in all this chaos and all your troubles and all your things you're going through, and I know many of you are going through some difficult times, as we all are, I really do pray that God will strengthen you and give you peace. God bless, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow right here on the Oasis.